It was the end of the Edo period. Law and order were in shambles. The shogunate government of Edo was weakened, and civil commotion was rife all over the land. On top of that, people's lives were further troubled by disasters like earthquakes and massive fires. Tomorrow was uncertain for all. In addition, a fleet led by Captain Perry, known as the Black Ships, sailed into Uraga. They attempted to force Japan into opening her ports. The anti-foreigner faction was gaining momentum, and unrest filled Japan. It is in times like these that Buddha's teachings are truly needed. Nisen Shonin overcame much adversity to help all those suffering in the world by founding Honmon Butsuryushu, HBS. It was the 4th year of Ansei, 1857. These teachings were passed down by Buddha to Nichiren Shonin, whose original stage is Jogyo Bodhisattva, the highest immediate disciple of primordial Buddha, through his legitimate successor, Nichiryu Shonin, and on to Nisen Shonin in its pure form. The following 150 years saw Honmon Butsuryushu's continued development as a religious group dedicated to the ideals of Bodhisattva.
明治維新で日本が新しい夜明けを迎えた時、日扇上人は日本の宗教界に新しい清らかな風を吹き込み、宗教維新を起こされました。混迷の現代を生きる私たちは今一度日扇上人の生き様を振り返り、そのご意志を受け継がなければならないのです。
Well, this is quite something, as might be expected from teacher Seifu.
That's right. Not only his writings, but the teacher's pictures and songs are also wonderful, impressing all who see them.
Come to think of it, I've heard stories about when the teacher was just a boy named Senjiro.
Hey, Senjiro! Let's play, Senny! Ah! A tiger! Help!
Who's there?
Apparently, a friend of his mistook a painting of a tiger on a sliding screen for the real thing and ran off.
That's amazing.
Whatever way you look at it, he was in the Heian Jinbutsu paper at the age of 10.
You mean the same Heian Jinbutsu paper, which only introduces those who excel in literature? Oh, the teacher has taken up his brush.
The one called teacher is Seifu Nagamatsu, later known as Nisen Shonin, founder of Honmon Butsuryushu. Born into a wealthy business family, he made his way as an intellectual, learning calligraphy, painting, and poetry from a young age. Then, around the age of 24, he continued to surprise all with his talents through such feats as lecturing on the tale of Genji at the residence of a court noble.
That's the teacher Seifu I know. Always a master with the brush.
Oh, not at all. I still have a lot to learn. The confusion in my mind after losing my mother 4 years ago is apparent in my brush strokes.
Your mother? I'm sorry to hear that.
Master Nichiyu?
Yes?
I strongly felt the emptiness of life as a result of my mother's death and set myself on the path of Buddha. I have traveled the land in search of Buddha's true path, but all I see, wherever I go, is corrupt monks.
That is true. It is a pitiful situation, but there are many corrupt monks who only think about money and themselves. However, teacher Seifu...
Yes?
Chanting Odaimoku, Namu Myoho Renge Kyo, based on the primordial 8 chapters of the Lotus Sutra that I have practiced, are the teachings of Nichiren Shonin, which he spread as the true teaching of Buddha. Myo, Ho, Ren, Ge, Kyo. These 5 characters contain all the power of Buddha, and if one chants them, Buddha's power, in other words, the Lotus Sutra's power, can be gained and the suffering people of the world saved. Teacher?
Yes?
Could you come over here?
Yes?
People today are leading uneasy lives. It is precisely times like this that spiritual guidance through correct teachings is necessary. Behold, the pure and dedicated eyes of the followers.
After receiving the teachings of Master Nichiyo and deciding to follow the teachings of the primordial 8 chapters of the Lotus Sutra, an incident occurred.
The deepest underlying teaching of Buddha is to save all the world's people. That is why chanting the Odaimoku of the Lotus Sutra is the only way.
Indeed. I've been listening, but it sounds like nonsense. The Lotus Sutra can go to hell. Belief in that will be the end of Japan.
Teacher, let's call it a day.
Let's get out of here.
Teacher!
Samurai, why don't you come on in?
What?
Please, take a seat, right this way.
All right. Oh, me too.
Oh, isn't this something?
Teacher!
Well, you drink splendidly. Splendid.
By the way, who exactly are you?
Excuse my rudeness. I am Seifu Oji, a follower of the Lotus Sutra.
I don't know about the Lotus Sutra, but repeating the name of the Buddha is the true path to enlightenment. Make a good note of it.
There is no path to Buddha except that through the Lotus Sutra. Chanting Namu Myoho Renge Kyo, the underlying teachings of Buddha, is the practice of protecting one's country without weapons and to save people from suffering. Myoho Renge Kyo. These 5 characters contain the heart of Buddha, and if one chants them, Buddha's power, in other words, Hokkekyo's power.
Seifu softly and earnestly preached about the teachings of the Lotus Sutra to the 2 samurai. The samurai finally heard Seifu's words and fell down before him. Honnoji Temple's master Nichiyo was kind enough to introduce Ryusenji Temple on Awaji Island as the place for Seifu's training. Seifu not only gave up his position and distinction as an established academic in Kyoto, but spent his days immersed in training as if he was a boy and not 32 years of age.
Seifu Oji, you shall be known from this day forth as the priest Seifu Muton.
I am honored.
Seifu was ordained as a monk on the 28th of April, 1848. This was the anniversary of Nichiren Shonin's declaration of teaching. In other words, Seifu became a priest on the same day Nichiren Shonin announced the beginning of his teachings. Seifu was then encouraged by Master Nichiyo to enter the priest's school, Danrin, in Honkoji Temple, Amagasaki. It was necessary at the time to gain accreditation from Danrin in order to become a priest.
Seifu, I have heard that you are a distinguished intellect. However, you are just a newcomer here. Be sure to restrain your pride.
I understand.
However, Seifu was to be the recipient of an unsuspected blow.
Ouch!
You're Seifu?
Yes, that's right.
Just what exactly does a first-class scholar intend on learning all of a sudden?
I bet you're just bent on looking down and making a mockery of us.
You think we're just gonna stand by while someone like you steals our chance at promotion?
Yeah!
Who do you think you are? If you don't leave, we're all gonna leave, Danrin.
We're off to negotiate with the temple. You get out of here if you know what's good for you.
Come on, let's go.
Safer, you said? Heh, what a joke.
Acting all first class, you're just in the way.
If the master takes his side, let's get out of here.
What is going on? I had heard about this, but the corruption has come this far. These are the monks to take on the teachings of Nichiren Shonin? Shameful. I have no interest in promotion as a priest. It is important that I save as many suffering people as possible by chanting Odaimoku.
今日にとどまる決意を固めた日仙上人は東山にあるここ西行庵に落ち着くことになり、お題目を1日1万遍唱えるなどの修行の日々を送られます。
Upon chanting Odaimoku to heal the pain and even disease of those who visited, much occurred that was good, and there was a subsequent buildup of followers. At that time, there was also division inside the Hokkeshu sect between the old and new factions. The two factions were known commonly as Kaijoha and Kuonha. Kaijoha believed that if family and relatives sincerely prayed by reciting the Lotus Sutra, all things that fall into damnation, even cats and dogs, could attain Buddhahood. For that reason, devotion is based around parinama, in other words, an emphasis placed on such things as funerals and Buddhist memorial services. On the other hand, Kuon believed that only humans can receive the seeds of Buddha in their hearts by chanting Odaimoku, becoming Buddha through selflessness. In short, people can comfort the soul of the deceased, but to attain Buddhahood without direct contribution to the Buddhist cause is in direct conflict with Nichiren Shonin's teachings and distorts the true principles of Buddhism, said Nisen Shonin. The leaders of the Honmon Hokkeshu sect primarily belonged to Kaijoha. In contrast, Nisen Shonin, Master Nichiyu, Master Nichijo, Master Nichiyo, and also nobleman Sakon Yorikane Matsudaira of Takamatsu in Shikoku Island belonged to Kuonha. Around this time, Seifu was fortunate enough to make a new friend, the nobleman Yorikane Matsudaira, the eldest son of Takamatsu Castle's overseer on Shikoku Island. Although being the eldest son of the overseer, Yorikane had handed succession rights to his younger brother and become a follower of the Hokkeshu sect. The newly acquainted friends soon developed a strong bond, both agreeing to found an educational organization in order to spread the true teachings of Buddha.
What about this as a name for the organization?
What do you have? Ah, I see. This looks quite good.
From this time on, in order to distinguish it from the Hokkeshu sect, Honmon was added to the name to become Honmon Butsuryu-shu. Nobleman Yorikane then opened his group Happonko in Takamatsu. Meanwhile, Seifu returned to Kyoto to make preparations for services. At last, in 1857, on the 12th of January in the 4th year of Ansei, Seifu opened Honmon Butsuryu-shu. The place Happondo in the residence of Asashichi Tanegawa in Shinmachi, Takoyakushi. Honmon Butsuryu-shu was inaugurated by 4 followers in the very center of Kyoto.
I hereby found Hommon Butsu Ryushu. We are compelled to take on the name Hommon Butsu Ryushu, a name that our founder, Nichiren Shonin, left behind, and that means a religion founded by Holy Buddha. Myo, Ho, Ren, Ge, Kyo. These 5 characters are the essence of the Lotus Sutra and the spirit of Buddha. By chanting Odaimoku, Namu Myoho Renge Kyo, you become one with Buddha's enlightenment, are released from worldly desires, and are able to contribute wonderfully to society and at home. Hommon Butsu Ryushu must work to save as many distressed people as possible and put them on the path to a happy life. Hommon Happon Shoken Jogyo Shoden Honnin Geshuno Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho.
This is how Hommon Butsu Ryushu came to grandly announce the birth of a new religion and end its Buddhist sermon.
What?
Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu, Namu Amida Butsu.
Boss! You shouldn't be so hasty. Please, stop! Boss, why on earth would you be doing something so foolish?
I couldn't stand the stomach pain. I've seen doctors and made offerings at shrines and temples, but nothing seems to help. I prefer paradise in the next life over this living hell. I beg you, Gisaburo, let me die.
I know that the boss's house recites Namu Amida Butsu. However, you have already given up your life once. Why not take a shot at reciting Namu Myoho Renge Kyo instead of Namu Amida Butsu?
I couldn't stand it if that cured my illness.
The place where I'm being taught is called Hommon Butsu Ryushu. I will bring my religious colleagues here to help you recite.
But changing my ancestral religion...
Boss, believe me in Namu Myoho Renge Kyo. I will heal you without fail. You have already thrown life away once. Entrust yourself to me, Gisaburo Takahashi. I, Gisaburo, will heal your illness, even if it means my own life.
All right, Gisaburo. I'll trust you.
Right. Now that that's decided, I'll make a dash to see teacher.
I see. I understand the situation. The 6 of you go, remove any false images of Buddha, and recite Nam-myoho Renge Kyo with your heart and soul.
But we don't yet possess that kind of power.
It is not one's power. It is Buddha's spirit, embodied in the power of Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, that does the healing.
Understood.
Upon receiving the gardener Gisaburo Takahashi's request, Seifu swiftly sent caretakers to the house of Kambei to see he was properly assisted.
We will now begin a silent reading of Hommon Butsu Ryushu's way of chanting.
Please, go ahead.
This false image of Buddha must be removed.
Boss, here you are.
What?
This is sacrificial water.
Sacrificial water?
Please, drink this to start with. Boss?
Hommon Happon Shoken Jogyo Shoden Honnin Geshuno
Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, 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 Nam-myoho.
Together with us. Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo, Nam-myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho
Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Pardon me, dinner preparations have been completed.
It is appreciated, but we cannot have anything until the boss's condition improves. We can only have sacrificial water.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Darling. Darling. Darling.
How do you feel, boss?
I want some rice porridge. I haven't woken up feeling this good for years. I feel like I could eat a horse. It's as if I've woken up from a long sleep. I thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
It goes without saying that Kanbei Onoyama and his family became followers immediately. Kanbei's relation, the rice merchant Uhei Mimaki, and those around him also became followers one after the other and saw the inauguration of Otsu Butsuryu Shu with Kanbei as its head. Seifu also gave guidance from time to time. The meeting center, Otsu Hokkedo, was erected on the Onoyama's land due to limited space at Kanbei's residence. Otsu Hokkedo was later recognized as a temple and became Otsu Butsuryuji Temple in the 12th year of Meiji, 1879.
世は幕末の動乱期でした。本門物流港の開港から7年の歳月が流れた1864年、元治元年には京に入った長州軍がここ浜栗御門付近で薩摩、会津などの幕府軍と激戦。この金門の変、いわゆる鉄砲焼けで京の町は大火に包まれ、多くの人々は家族を、家を、そして職を失いました。
Nisen Shonin, who also lived in Kyoto, managed to escape the perils of this gun burning and moved to Otsu. Later, the domain of Choshu and the domain of Satsuma, who were likened to cats and dogs, formed an alliance through the intervention of Ryoma Sakamoto. This opened the way for a restoration of imperial power, and the 15th shogun Yoshinobu Tokugawa undertook the transfer of power back to the emperor at Nijo Castle in the 3rd year of Keio on the 14th of October, 1867. The Edo samurai government, which had lasted for 260 years, came to an end, and Kyoto Prefecture was created. Nobuatsu Hase was then chosen as the founding governor. Ryoma Sakamoto, Takamori Saigo, Isami Kondo, and Toshizo Hijikata of Shinsengumi. They are all heroes who lived during the end of the Edo period, along with Nisen Shonin.
Teacher Seifu, good morning.
Good morning. What's the matter?
There's a samurai who says he's interested in hearing the teacher's words. He's at my house now. Could you come now, teacher?
All right. Let us go if it's a matter of teaching. What is this person like?
He's a fine samurai.
You are Teacher Seifu, are you not?
Yes.
This is samurai, teacher.
What's going on?
You are under arrest. Don't resist, you Christian dog.
Seifu suffered his first religious persecution. He faced continued harassment from other Buddhist factions that feared losing followers to the smoothly developing HBS. He was arrested due to a conspiracy that he was spreading Christianity. Seifu was put into a cane basket and sent to Kyoto. 6 leading members, including the head, Asashichi Tanegawa, were either thrown in jail or put into the hands of local authorities. Then came the 4th of August. This day was to be a day that decided the fate of Seifu and HBS.
You were accused of being a Christian, and we have investigated many different angles. However, as far as I can see, there is absolutely no ground to these charges. On the contrary, I found there is no one as dedicated to saving people as you. Seifu Nagamatsu.
Yes?
All charges have been dropped. We expect you to resume your role as priest to spread Buddhism. I will order your re-entry to the historical Honnoji Temple. So continue to preach freely as a priest.
I will.
The Otsu persecution, which had struck without warning, eventually came to an end with the victory of the righteous. Seifu's passionate belief had influenced the governor.
I have now, without doubt, become one who preaches the good word today, vindicated in the public eye.
その後、日扇上人はここ祐聖寺を学問所として譲り受けました。祐聖寺は日扇上人のお師匠様である淡路島龍泉寺の日曜上人が晩年に隠居されていたところなのです。
Furthermore, Yuseiji Temple's predecessor, Honmon Temple, is the oldest Nichiren-based temple in Kyoto, also being the place of rest for a likeness of Buddha blessed by the founding father himself. With the recognition of the governor, HBS was able to steadily spread its teachings, reaching 33 groups and 10,000 followers in Kyoto. At times, numerous followers would chant out on the streets and sometimes even line up to receive blessings. Nisen Shonin energetically proceeded with his literary activities, publishing a variety of books, starting with one session of the Fine Congregation of HBS. Myoko Ichiza contains teachings by Nisen Shonin on Honmon Butsuryushu's individual method of practicing Buddhism. It is the basis of Buddhist sermons up to the present. The crest of HBS, which Nisen Shonin himself devised, reached completion around this time.
祐聖寺を二世日門上人に託された日扇上人は府谷町の新居現在の長生寺に移られます。68歳の冬でした。
While here, Nisen Shonin diverted all his energy into teaching in preparation for the years to come. He was also involved in visiting the residences of followers and preaching Buddhism, giving direct orientation through sermons around the land. It was about this time that he concentrated his last efforts on completing the orientation manual, Jukkansho. On the 17th of July in the 23rd year of Meiji, Nisen Shonin boarded a houseboat at Fushimi in Kyoto on his way to a sermon at the residence of Mr. Shinzo Hata in Osaka. Nisen Shonin faced the running water and uttered the following: "Life and death are the eternal embodiment of a single being. Is not reincarnation something to be thankful for?" Nisen Shonin then made his way back to the eternal light while taking a nap at a tea shop in Moriguchi village by the Yodogawa River.
This is 日扇上人がご宣言された義天寺です。最後の最後まで本門仏流宗の発展を、そして人々の幸せを願い、日扇上人は奔走されたのです。
Honmon Butsuryushu, founded through perseverance and the spirit found in Odaimoku to overcome persecution and oppression. To protect the people of the world, irreplaceable family, and then yourself. Honmon Butsuryushu must save many from suffering and be the spiritual foundation of a happy life for not only the next 100 or 200 years, but for eternity.
日扇上人が自らの人生をかけて私たちに残してくださった本門物流集。それは誕生から寂光への旅立ちまで人生のすべてに関わり、私たちの心の仏性を磨き、功徳を積む教えなのです。